I was bullish for the last 3 years, 2023 until about last Thursday. I just turned bearish for the first time in a really long time. Let me show you why. I'm looking at S&P 500 on TradeWave right now. I just changed the regime to PE plus 2, which is midterm election years. So you can see these bars are 4 years apart. With this year being 2026, midterm election year, previous one is 2022, and so on, all the way back to 1962. I set the date range to 19th of March until 24th of June. And as you can see on trend chart, it's an obvious trend down. Look at it up here, 65% of the years, and that doesn't include this year, have been negative during this date range. I mean, look at 1962 was down 26%, 2022 was down 12.32, with an additional 6%, which it came back and closed at 12%. Dropped almost 6% in 2018. It closed up in 2014, but look, 3 other years are the, it's just a very negative time right here. Well, why else do I think this? As you can probably see, you know all about tariffs and the pricing pressure, unemployment, AI, people are losing jobs. Fundamentals seems ripe for a market correction as well, at least what we are hearing. But it was also the same way last year, the year before, and the year before that, when I was bullish. By the way, I hated those tariffs. I think they are absolutely terrible for the economy, but I was bullish. If you go back and look at TradeWave videos, I turned bullish on April 7th, I believe. And market just went up 25% after that. Why do I say all of these? It's because I go and look at data. And this is the data I'm looking at right here. Let me show you the next one I found, which is New York Composite. It's the same exact story. This one, the date range is from the 19th of April until 11th of October. Look at this, 73% of the years were down. Even the years that weren't down, 1982, it dropped 12% first and then went up. 1994 was just up, didn't really go down. But look at this, another 8.5% in 2006. It's just a brutal time for the markets, which is midterm election years. And you know why other people don't exactly see these? Because they don't look at midterm filters like I am. Look at what happens if I just look at consecutive years. It looks bullish. People look at this and say, oh, it's just not that bad, it's going to go up. But you're looking year after year. I am looking at PE plus 2, 2 years after presidential election. And now you can see it's much worse. But it's actually a lot worse than this. I'm going to go to the left over here. Let me clear this. I am going to, let's go to May 1st. Oh, we are on here. Let's go S&P 500. May 1st. I want you to pay attention down here to the bottom left. TradeWave opportunity table on the left uses the algorithm and goes and finds all of the repeated opportunities based on, currently it's based on last 10 years right here. And it shows 113 opportunities, 67 long, 46 short. So 59% are showing bullish based on TradeWave's opportunity table right here. And by the way, I've selected P plus 2. If I didn't select P plus 2, you're going to get 97% bullish. And this is for May 1st. But look at what happens now. I'm going to go to May 1st. I'm going to change to 10 to 90 days only. Then I'm going to change the May to May 5th. Look at this. For 10 out of 10 years of midterm election years, it was 100% bearish for patterns that are 10 to 90 days, basically the summer. They're just all bullish. There is no other ones. There's no bullish ones. Now I'm going to switch to 9 out of 10 years so we get a larger list. Much larger list. Look at that. 44 opportunities. 19 were long, 25 are short. How about the fourth? 55%. Just take a look over here. On the 7th, it's a rare bullish, then it goes back down. It's actually staying around 50%, 57, 56. So as you can see, there is just tremendous number of bearish ones. But what's so fascinating is that the top one, the highest Sharpe ratio, the most likely, lowest risk one, Caterpillar. Look at this incredibly down trend chart right here. That looks dismal for Caterpillar. The second one, Illinois Toolworks, very bearish right there. 10 out of 10 years. VLO, Valero Energy Corporations. Even energy is showing down over here. 2006, it dropped almost 9% and then closed up. Parker Hannifin, another down. Look at this. They are just short after short. So these are sorted by Sharpe ratio, which means those are the lowest risk. Or lowest risk are shorts for midterm election years. Even Chevron. So this is the reason I've turned bearish, but here's the total fascinations. I'm looking at patterns based on last 10 midterm election years, which means companies that are at least 40 years old. I'm going to switch to 6 years. That means we're going to look at newer companies too. Look at that. I'm going to turn it to 5th. Just look on the bottom. 79 opportunities were found, 7 longs, 72 shorts, 91% of the opportunities. Intuit is one of those rare ones that's actually bullish. But then there is Trimble, Dominion Energy, just so many bearish ones. Now, TradeWave isn't predicting these. TradeWave is showing you patterns that have repeated in the past. Let's find the long one. Here's Kimberly-Clark, one of the rare long ones. As you can see, it goes up and it actually has a sideways to down afterwards. So their pattern started later, but they also have bearish there. It's all bearish. But the one that totally fascinates me What's the world's most valuable company? Let me go and find it here. I am going to go to March or April. No, I'm talking about NVIDIA. Let's just take a look at it. I didn't find it manually, but I can find it like this. P plus 2 years. Look at all the down. Even NVIDIA, world's most valuable company, has incredibly down periods. Do you see this? 423. I actually think it starts earlier. 323. Yeah. But it's based on last 6 midterm election years. They went public not long before the beginning of the century. I'm actually going to save this for my portfolio. Look at this. In 2002, they went down 65% in this period. Of course, we can always shift it to see. When you look at it, it's 321 to 627. It still goes down right there. Oh, it gets even worse. Look at this. Average of almost 30% down. But in 2002, 77%. 2002, they really weren't an AI company. They were just a display card company. They hadn't discovered that their GPUs were valuable in AI. Neither did in 2006. In 2010, they did. It was the beginning of the AI world. 2014, there were AI. They definitely were AI in 2018, so they did drop another 14%, but they closed down only 1.43. In 2022, they definitely were an AI company. They closed down 31%, plus another 16% that they went down, but they ended up closing down 31%. If NVIDIA drops 80% of its value, it's going to be $1 trillion company. They're almost still around the $5 trillion company. 4.5, I think. But this is not the time you want to at least be long on NVIDIA. Be careful during this period. It is just a very fascinating time to watch this happen on NVIDIA. Now, do I have any good news? I do. If you guys have heard of my book, The 100-Year Pattern, it's the name after a pattern I discovered which starts during midterm election years. After people get destroyed in this summer and people that are actually long really get hurt, a pattern starts that's so rare, yet it's the most bullish pattern that exists that I have ever seen. So this has never been documented until the 100-year pattern. This is what I call the 100-year pattern, and the name of the book is The 100-Year Pattern. It's all about this pattern, which is from the 27th of September of a midterm election year until July 18th of the following year, 295 days. So give and take, just take a few days backwards and forward. But what's so fascinating about this? This is since 1930 it went down in the middle of the Great Depression. Terrible, it went down. And then, look at this. It's gone up every single year, midterm election year since then. It's almost 100 years of bullish pattern. So that's it. That's all I was going to tell you guys today.